So what we want to do right now is how we can analyze the results on the Nessus. So once the Nessus scanning is completed, this arrow here that is saying running, you will see is going to mark completed. But before we finish this and analyzing, it's supposed to complete this particular scanning. So once you want to analyze the results, what you need to do is to double click on this icon here. It's either you click on my scan or you click on the empty space here. Just double click on it. So once you double click on it, it's going to take you into the results. So here it's going to show you the host that we scan. We always scan a one host, which is the OAPs. So that's the reason why you are seeing single here. But anytime you are scanning a network or you are scanning multiple hosts, it's going to bring out all the hosts that is scanned here. So you can see that the vulnerability that this guy has discovered so far is a 65 vulnerability. And this week, this scanning is still running. So the history is only once. So anytime you want to check for the vulnerability, if you come here, it show you that any weaknesses with this color here is a critical. We have high, we have medium, we have low, and we have an info. But if you click on here, it's going to show you that we have 74 critical. We have 74 critical. And if you click here, we have 137 high. If you click here, we have 193 medium. And if you click here, we have 146 info. So like what I explained to you when we are making use of a green bone. So anytime you see a weaknesses and the severity is critical or the severity is high, is telling you that you must take action immediately to all those weaknesses. Because if you did not take action immediately, a bad guy, which are the attacker, they can make use of these weaknesses to gain access to your network, or they can use it to compromise the security of the victim. So let's click on it. So we're going to double click on it. Once you double click on it, it's going to bring out all the weaknesses outside. So as you can see, we have critical, we have the one that is a high, and we have some weaknesses that is a medium. So let's bring one out of this, out of from this guy, and let's discover it. So for example, if I click on this critical here, just double click on it. So once you double click on it, this guy is going to show you the issue and it's still going to show you the solution. So the same thing with a green bone that is going to discover weaknesses and is going to give you the process in a way that you can mitigate all those issues. So the same thing as well with the Nessus. Nessus is going to give you the issue and is going to provide you with the solution that you can use to solve all those issues. So here, let's see the critical. This critical is talking about SSL version 2 and SSL version 3 protocol detection. So they based on SSL version 2 and version 3. So as we all know, full meaning of a SSL, secure socket layer. So we all know this guy here is based on a secure socket layer version 2 and secure socket layer version 3. So what is the description of this result? Here is telling you that the remote service accept connection encrypted using SSL version 2.0 and or SSL version 3.0. This version of SSL are affected by several cryptographic flaws. So this guy is telling you that while scanning this victim, is discovered that the remote versus service is accepting connection through this particular version of a SSL. So he's now telling you that the particular version of this SSL is affected by several cryptographic flaws. So which means that this particular version of SSL is shouldn't be used on the remote service. So if you come here, you can see is going to show you that an attacker can exploit this flaw to conduct man-in-the-middle attack or to decrypt communication between the affected service and clients. So basically, this guy is telling you that this SSL that this remote service accepts is not secure because it accepts SSL 2.0 and accepts SSL 3.0. This guy now telling you a bad guy can exploit this flaw to conduct what we call man-in-the-middle attack or to decrypt communication between affected service and client. So anything that the service is doing and anything that its client and the server is doing, a bad guy can be decrypting everything and they'll be seeing it. So the solutions tell you that you should consult the application documentation to disable SSL version 2 and SSL version 3, and you should use TLS. So basically, when we're talking about an HTTP, you all know that an HTTP you what we call an SSL. So that's the reason why everything you do on a HTTP is easier for bad guys to be seeing everything you do. But we have a version of HTTP that is secure now, which is what we call an HTTPS. What HTTPS used to secure on an HTTP is that an HTTPS is using SSL-TLS. So that SSL-TLS make HTTPS to more secure than what we're talking about HTTP. So here discovered that the remote service accepts connection through SSL, which is not secure. So this guy is now telling you that you need to disable that particular SSL. I need to disable the SSL on the remote service. You should use TLS, which is a transport layer security. So you should use a TLS 1.2 with approved server suite or higher instead. So these guys tell you should disable SSL and you should use TLS. You can use TLS 1.2 or you use the higher version of a TLS. So that's the secure. TLS is more secure than an SSL. So that was the first issue that we discover, and the port is a port 443 that is responsible for the connection, and the host is the IP address of our OAuth. So that's the first victim. That's the first result. I mean, this result based on a SSL version 2 and SSL version 3. And this guy is telling us that we should disable that SSL and we should use a TLS. So you can go back to all those results, and you can be going through the results, read the result one by one, and you will find out all the issues. So that's how this guy is. That's how you can use this guy to discover weaknesses, and that's how you can analyze all those weaknesses. And you can actually click on another one to discover what the issue is. And once you discover the issue, you know what to do on the issue. So you can click on this one. If you click on this one as well, it's going to tell you what the issue is, and it's going to tell you what you need to do to solve the issue. So for example, here is telling you that this result is based on bash remote code execution, which is a shell code. It's telling you that the remote host is running a version of bash that is vulnerable to command injection. So it's telling you that the shell code that this guy is using is vulnerable to command injection via environment variable manipulation. So this guy is telling you that the remote host is running a version of bash, this particular bash that this OAuth is running. It has been vulnerable to command and injection. He now said, depending on the configuration of the system, an attacker could remotely execute arbitrary code. So he's telling you that this particular bash is using here is already vulnerable to a command and injection. It shouldn't be used. So the solution here is say that you should do what? You should update that particular bash inside that remote host. You should update it to the latest version. So that's how this guy is. And the port responsible for that is a port 22, which is a TCP port and SSH port. And this is the remote IP. So that's how this guy is. It's going to discover your weaknesses as well, and it's going to tell you the way you can solve the issue. So imagine I want to send this particular result out to those people that are supposed to have access to it. So we need to go back to all those results. Is you will see where we have a report. You will see where we have report. Just click on report. So once you click on report, it's going to be here. You can see the format of the report. You can use HTML, you can use PDF, you can use CSV. So if I want to use PDF, I click on PDF. If you're using HTML, click on it, but I will go for PDF. So if you click on PDF, you can actually save it as default. You can save PDF as default anytime that you are scanning and you want to generate the report. It will be in a PDF format. So once you save it as a default, you click on a generate report. Immediately, this guy will generate that report, and you can actually send the report to those people that are supposed to have access to it. So you wait for this guy to generate the report, and you're going to see how the report looks like. The report looks the same thing like when we are using our Greenbone. The same way that Greenbone generates the reports, the same way, the same structure that you're going to see the report of this guy as well. So let's hold on a little bit for this guy to generate the report. So let's hold on a little bit. The report is going to save as a PDF format. So if I open this report here, as you already know that I'm running my Nessus on my Kali. So I'm not running the Nessus on my physical system. So anytime you are using Kali and you run your Nessus on your Kali, anytime you are generating the report, don't go ahead to your system and you'll be looking for the result. No, because the result will be saved inside your Kali. So if I click on this result here, it's going to bring out what the result is. So as you can see here, it will bring out the result. This is the result, Tenable Nessus, which is the tool that we are using. So if you drag down, the particular victim with scanning is what? OAPS. So that's what the guy name it OAPS here. So if you drag down, you're going to show you the table of the content and the IP address of the host that we are scanning. So if you drag down, you will see all the information. We have 52 critical, 132 high, 178 medium, 23 low, 95 info. So those are the results that we discover on this particular victim. So you're going to bring everything outside one by one. You're going to bring everything outside one by one. And actually, you can actually click on anyone to discover what the issue is. Can actually click on anyone. As you can see all these results, you can click on anyone and it's going to take you to wherever the issue is, and it's going to let you know what the issue, and it's still going to give you the solution in a way that you can solve the issue. So this is how you can use this Nessus as well. This is how you can make use of the Nessus to scan, and this is how you can generate the results, and you can actually send this result to those people that should have access to it. So if you go back to this scanning now, if you go back to this Nessus, if I go back to my scan, if I go back to my scan, this should successful by now. So if you go back, as you can see, this guy is now completed. So anytime you are scanning, you see that the icon is still running. It means that the scanning is still going. But once you see this guy is completed, you can go ahead and click on it, and you will see the weaknesses that this guy discovered. And once you see the weaknesses, this guy discovered like 75 vulnerability, and the remediation is a 92, and the host we are scanning is a single host. It's going to tell you the scan duration. How long does this scan take? We're going to show you. So this can take like 32 minutes plus. So it's going to show you and you're going to see all the information about the scanning. So that's how you can make use of these Nessus, and you use to scan whenever you want to scan your network or you want to scan a devices, and you can check the vulnerability, and you can actually download the result and send this to those people that should have an access to it. So basically, that's everything about this Nessus. That's what you need to know about how to use the Nessus. So this will be where I will stop this vulnerabilities class. So we're going to move into the next